说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello there, elementaries. My name is Ken Carroll.
And I'm Jenny.
And we are Chinese Pod. And Jenny, would you be so kind to tell us a little bit about today's lesson?
Today is a special day,
Yes.
a holiday in China,
Yes.
known as 清明节,清明,
Qingming,
otherwise known as Tomb Sweeping Day.
Tomb Sweeping Day.
Might sound spooky in English.
Oh, yeah, actually, it might sound a little bit spooky. Tomb Sweeping. Yeah.
However, it's one of the most ancient festivals.
Exactly.
And very important cultural incidents in
Culturally, it's big in China. You know, in early April, first week of April, if you're traveling or you're in China or you want to know something about Chinese culture,
Yeah.
Tomb Sweeping Day is big. It's a very, very ancient thing.
Yes.
It's related to, you know, the old ancestor sort of reverence or worship of whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
And to this day, those traditions are actually quite strong.
Yes.
Even to the point where there aren't that many tombs.
Exactly.
You know, people are cremated and stuff.
Yeah.
But you'll still go. Let me ask you a question before we get into the lesson.
Yeah.
How do you sweep the tomb if
When
your
you don't have a tomb?
Yeah, they're just ashes. How do you
Well,
do that?
You dust the box
Okay.
that contains the ash. We still call it tomb sweeping
Tomb sweeping.
because it's such an established lexis.
Oh. Okay, so you go. So the box is housed somewhere.
Yeah, both of my grandfathers, their remains
Yes.
are kept in a box
Yes.
in a big graveyard, a garden, and it's more like a vault in the
Yes.
bank
Okay.
where you go in
Wow.
and there's a small box
Yes.
for your remains for each.
Oh,
each
so
of
you
the
go and
remains.
dust it. Wow. Symbolic tomb sweeping.
Yeah.
Very interesting. As I said, it's something that you'll come across if you're in China around this time of year. It's also quite interesting from an ancestral kind of perspective. So one more time, how did we say that tomb sweeping day?
清明,清明.
Qingming.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's listen to this dialogue about Qingming, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at it.
对话第一遍。
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
第二遍。
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
第三遍。
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
Okay.
Translations.
Yes, indeed.
你清明去扫墓吗？
Are you going to pay your respects on Tomb Sweeping Day?
你清明去扫墓吗？
Are you going to pay your respects on Tomb Sweeping Day?
你清明去扫墓吗？回老家扫。你呢？
Yeah, I'm going back to my hometown to do it. How about you?
回老家扫。你呢？
Yeah, I'm returning to my hometown to do it. What about yourself?
回老家扫。你呢？我就在北京。
I'll just stay in Beijing.
我就在北京。
I'll just stay in Beijing.
我就在北京。你不扫墓？
You're not going to pay your respects?
你不扫墓？
You're not going to do tomb sweeping?
你不扫墓？不是， 我爷爷的墓就在北京。
No, my grandfather's tomb is here in Beijing.
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
No, my grandfather's tomb is here in Beijing.
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。哦，那很方便。
Oh, that's more convenient.
哦，那很方便。
Oh, that's pretty convenient then.
哦，那很方便。
Okay,
A challenging lesson to translate,
it is.
especially the first sentence.
Yeah, in fact, 2 or 3 of the sentences are
Yes.
kind of open. As I mentioned before, I think there's 2 ways you can translate, right? You can translate literally word for word, or you can translate at the level of a function. What function does a sentence perform? So quite often what I'll do here is to try to do both. So you might
Yeah.
find that, translate a sentence one way the first time and then another the second way. So it's giving you sort of the literal aspect and then the functional aspect of it. Because languages don't just sort of, mesh up that,
Yes.
word for word. It just
Especially
doesn't
with
happen.
the culturally rich lesson.
Exactly.
It's particularly hard.
Indeed, because you got collocations and set expressions and all of that kind of thing. Okay, good. Now, so let's get back to the first sentence.
你清明去扫墓吗？你清明去扫墓吗？
So as we said, Qingming meaning a tomb
sweeping day.
Now, the verb to sort of pay a respect here is.
扫墓，扫墓。
Now, this is kind of interesting because 扫墓, 扫, third tone, has a fairly prosaic meaning. It basically means
To sweep.
to sweep
Yes. And 墓 means tomb.
the tomb.
So it would be like, are you going to sweep tomb on tomb sweeping day?
Yes. Fairly straightforward.
Yes.
Yeah. So 扫, like 扫地 would be to
sweep the
sweep
floor.
the floor. Right, so basically sweep.
Yes.
And more. Now, more is not very high frequency in any other context that I know of. So basically, 扫墓 basically
Tomb sweeping.
sweep the
To-
tomb.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting answer.
回老家扫，你呢？回老家扫。
Now, 回 as in second tone, meaning
Yes.
to return. To return. To where? To return where exactly?
老家，老家。
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
Now, the 老家, third and first tones, it's kind of also culturally quite interesting. Tell us about the concept of 老家, please, Jenny.
老家 means hometown.
Hometown.
But the meaning changes
Yeah.
with social change.
Yes.
So 老家 would either mean the place you were born,
Yes.
born in, or maybe your ancestry home, the place your
Yes.
parents or grandparents were born
Oh,
in. Yeah.
it could mean both of those.
Yes.
Either or in context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite fluid.
Yeah, traditionally, this is a very big concept in China. Very big.
Sort of your roots.
Your
right?
roots, your family, even your family name in many cases could be, traced back to a certain part of the country.
Yeah.
And so certainly for the older generation, right? Let's
Yeah.
say you go back 2-3 generations and that's a big concept. Less so for somebody like you who's born in Shanghai, or you were born here, right?
Yes.
Where is your 老家?
My 老家 is in Jiangsu province.
Jiangsu province.
Which is 2 hours drive from Shanghai.
Okay, but do you have that connection, let's say that your parents or grandparents would, to the 老家 or?
Well, I don't have a concrete
Yeah.
connection to my 老家.
Yeah.
Neither do my parents because they were both
Okay.
born in Shanghai. The interesting thing is my father's side, we went back a few years ago
Yeah.
and my grandparents were very excited and they still feel the deep connection because that's the place they were born in and grew up in.
Oh. So that's the 老家.
Yes.
Now, just to look at that phrase for a second, it literally means what?
Old old home.
Old home, old family, same family or
Yes.
home. 家, okay.
老家.
老家. Now, so because so many people are now mobile in China, it's not quite like the United States perhaps, but with the massive demographic changes given in the last few years where people are moving
Yeah.
towards the cities to find work and so on. So this is also, you meet people from out of town, and
Yes.
they will also talk about their 老家,
老家,
basically meaning, they might be in Beijing or Guangzhou or Shanghai, but actually their 老家is outside somewhere in the provinces. Okay, wow, interesting stuff. Now, so let's look at this. I'm returning to my hometown for it. So
回老家扫，回老家扫。
returning to the 老家扫 to sweep. So
Yeah.
we reduce it to one word here.
Yes.
扫. Obviously, it means 扫.
扫墓。
扫墓. Now, and how about you? Well, I'm here in Beijing.
我就在北京，我就在北京。
Now, the 就 here indicates
I am right here. I'm
right
staying
in
right
Be-
here
yeah.
in Beijing.
Now, I actually think that we are completely reasonable to infer that what he's saying is my tomb sweeping will be here.
Yeah.
Because 我就在这里 means I'm here. This is
Yeah.
where it's going to happen. So the emphasis is there. But just to be clear, then the question comes.
你不扫墓，你不扫墓。
Now, aren't you going to sweep
扫
the
墓
tomb?
Yeah.
扫墓. Aren't you going to sweep the tomb? I think we could have guessed, but this particular individual didn't quite understand that
Yes.
the Lao Jia was actually in Beijing. And so we had,
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
all right, now because, yeah,
爷爷
who is that?
You had a Taiwanese accent there.
Oh, sorry about indeed.
No,
yes.
no, it's interesting to show the diversity.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. 爷爷
Yeah. And so, yeah is precisely here.
paternal
Your
grandfather.
paternal grandfather.
Yeah.
And his mu, his tomb, in other words.
Yes. 爷爷的墓就在北京。
Is right here in Beijing.
The same pattern again.
Yes,
就
yes.
在北京。
Yeah. Wow, I see. Well, then that's pretty convenient for you.
啊，那很方便。啊，那很方便。
So, 方便. First town, fourth town.
Yes, means
Meaning,
convenient.
yeah. Convenient from a tomb sweeping perspective.
Yes.
Lest somebody misconstrue it.
Yeah. And it's a very interesting cultural point
Yeah.
because Qingming Tomb Sweeping Day
Yeah.
is so much part of our daily life, our
Yes.
life.
Yes.
On this day, we're not particularly sad
Yes.
or grieving.
Yes.
It's a day actually for a lot of families to connect,
Yeah.
to meet each other.
Yeah. It's not a morbid kind of thing. You might think, oh, this sounds kind of morbid or something. It
Yeah.
isn't. It's not at all.
Yeah.
As you said. And this stuff is so ancient, this sort of pastime, it's almost to a certain extent.
It's also bonding, right?
Yeah,
Family
yeah,
bonding.
yeah.
And the final response, 那很方便,
Yeah.
is not offensive at all.
No, it's not
Yeah,
like
he's
it-
just stating a matter of fact.
Yeah, it doesn't sound callous or something. It's like, oh, you're too lazy to go out to the countryside. It's just, no, it's just, it's
Yeah.
handy that you don't have to go out to the countryside. You can do it right here and go to see yeah as often as you like.
Yes.
There you go. All right, let's listen to this
Three more times. 对话第一遍，
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
第二遍，
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
第三遍，
你清明去扫墓吗？
回老家扫。 你呢？
我就在北京。
你不扫墓？
不是，我爷爷的墓就在北京。
哦，那很方便。
Okay, so tons of culture there, and hopefully some rich language. I mean, vocabulary items like 清明 or, or 扫墓, not the highest frequency. However, those particular language items do occur in totally different contexts, lots of them. And as I said, culturally, I think it's very useful to know if you're in China in the month of early April, first week in April, what's
You're
going
likely
on.
you will definitely encounter 清明.
Indeed. And people talking about 老家 and stuff like that.
And we also eat a special food. How can we not?
Okay, tell us about what do you eat during 清明?
We eat 青团, green rice balls.
Green rice balls.
Yes, it's made from sticky rice
Yes.
with red bean paste
Okay.
inside. And it's green because the sticky rice, the dough is soaked in green vegetable juice.
Okay. Now, why does that symbolize in any way 清明?
Well, check out ChinesePot.com. We'll have that in our comments section.
I see. Interesting. All right, good stuff. Lots of culture and stuff. Hope
Yes.
we make that interesting. We will be back again tomorrow with another lesson, of course.
And of course, I'll go to 扫墓 today.
Well done. How filial of you. Well done. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow. But
Yes.
right now, it's time to say
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
0842
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0842
42.
and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0842.